Hey everyone, this is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach, and we are here for another Wisdom Wednesday for busy 9 to 5ers who are taking their transitions from employee and building their businesses to transform lives and become entrepreneurs. How is everyone doing today, everyone? Hey, it's Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach for busy 9 to 5ers Hive, and today we are in another week of development. How are you moving along with your business idea? Inside the Busy 9 to 5ers Hive, it is your space where you are able to kind of what we call massage and sweeten up your idea so that you can take it to a launch day. And you do that by way of learning experiences. We have our Jumpstart classes as well as our challenges. So let's get right into our challenges. As everyone knows, Wisdom Wednesday is just that mindset. What are you doing to move your idea forward? And how can I help you to do that? So inside the Busy 9 to 5ers Hive is where you have an opportunity to do that. So it is Wisdom Wednesday. And I am your host, Dr. Yam. And I hope that everyone is doing well. Let me make sure. If you haven't already done so, please join us over at busy9to5ershive.com. And there is where you'll find other individuals like yourself who have a great idea. You want to move forward. You may be kind of, I got to work. I got to move my, pay my bills. But you still have an idea that's worth launching. And we want to help you to do that. And this is a space where you can get it done. Now, also, please feel free to join me over on my website. KeepItSimpleCoach.info is where you'll find my blog, resources, and events that will also help you to elevate and escalate your idea. So today we're answering a simple question. What superpower do you have to start your business idea? What is that superpower inside of you? And are you tapping into it? That could be the next Microsoft or the next Amazon idea or the next Keep It Simple coach. It doesn't matter. The fact is that inside of each and every one of you is a special skill and experience that makes you unique and different than anyone else. And how can you take that superpower and kind of harness it in such a way that you're going to be able to help other people and then want to pay you for it by way of a product or a service? What is that superpower inside of you? Well, let's go find it. So today I'm going to ask you to consider top 10 questions. How is it that you're going to be able to find your superpower inside of yourself? So if you haven't already done so, you know the drill. We are going for the journal and a pen, your favorite pen. Let me grab mine. Let me see what we're going to pull today. It's purple. So that's going to be mine. Okay, so let me just make sure I batten down the hatches and make sure there. And I got a new phone, so I'm getting really excited about that. All right. Let's see. Let's make sure that we're coming across okay. Sometimes. Okay, yeah, we are. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to have 10 questions I want you to ask yourself and fill in the blanks. It's more like fill in the blank answer, question answer, okay? And so there are top 10 I want you to think about. And then at the end, we'll have an opportunity to figure out where's that superpower? What are we going to be able to do to tap into it? Ready? Okay, let me get my notes right here. Don't always remember, you can also put your questions right here inside of the comments. If you're watching this as a recording, you too can still post your questions here inside of the group, or you can direct message me anytime. Either myself or one of the team members will be more than happy to help you out. All right, so let's pull out my notes and I'm going to post them up here. But again, part of, like I said before, sometimes we may get a little stuck and we may feel I have an idea, but do I really have what it takes to move that idea forward? And it's okay to have self-doubt. It's a natural behavior, right? Every day is part of entrepreneurship. It's about taking risk. And so, yeah, you might say, oh no, is that really what I want to do? Or do I really have a really good idea? Well, here's a way that will help you to really determine if where you are headed is going to tap into a skill or your superpower is going to make your life easy, because that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to enjoy what you're doing, add value to others, make some money, and kind of roll all that up into one. The worst thing that you could possibly do, and I had this conversation quite recently with a client, a new client, and what was happening is that sometimes we like to follow trends, and you want to get on the bus with other people who are doing it. It's like, oh, I want to do that too. And whether or not, yeah, it may look good, it might sound good, but is it good for you? Is the question you have to ask yourself. And not everything that's out there is for you just because it crosses your path as well. So there's lots of things to really count for you to consider. And so I want to kind of have you to put those in the back of your mind, as far as just because it's there doesn't mean you have to do it. Just because your friend does it doesn't mean you have to do it. You might not be a good fit for you. And again, is it tapping into your superpower? So we're going to ask some questions. I'm going to put them up on the screen. And I want you to just ask yourself a couple of these questions. And let's see if there's some type of a trend that's coming about in a way. This is also a great exercise for when you are thinking about components of your business, be it a product or a service, that as you're moving down the line or when you want to adopt things, you always want to be with the mindset of, is this a good fit? Right? And everything that you do should be a good fit. There should be some alignment. If it's so off into the pasture from your core set of services or your or a product for that matter, then you're going to make it more difficult and work harder than you have to. When you're inside of your sweet spot, and I've talked about the sweet spot before, when you're working inside of that sweet spot, everything can be almost feel effortless, like it doesn't take much to get the work done. That's where you want to be. And so I'm hoping that these 10 questions that we're getting ready to ask will help you to find that sweet spot. All right. So here's question number 1. I feel alive when I am blank. I feel alive, most alive, when I am blank. Fill in that space. And it could be a short answer or it could be a long answer. Whatever is your answer is your answer. But if, for instance, you're filling in the blank and you're saying, well, I feel most alive when I'm writing or when I am gardening, then that's what you write down. Be truthful with yourself. Don't, again, it's not about pleasing anybody. So this is all about you. So be selfish and just stay focused on who you are. So when do you feel most alive and you're enjoying what you're doing? And fill in that blank. See if I can put it up here. Okay, so I feel most alive when I am blank. Fill that in. I'm going to go with the gardener theme because I think it's going to be kind of cool. So let's see how it works. Okay, so I feel most alive when I'm gardening. Okay, that's my first question. Now, the second question is, people come to you when they need help with blank. So when you typically get a call or in your workplace that you currently are in, or in your church setting or volunteerism, whatever that is, when they come to you when they need help doing what? What is it? What's common? So if I go with the same kind of an analogy and I say, well, people come to me when they need help with picking flowers for their flower beds in my neighborhood. They come to me because they have a real difficult time choosing the landscaping materials or the flower makeup, the types of plantings that they want. Okay, that's my question. So, what people come to you for? What do they really come to you when they need help? And it's often, and you kind of sense that. Okay. Another question to ask yourself is whenever blank comes my way, I'm over the moon excited to help or work on it. So whenever, like in case maybe someone is really stuck on or they're afraid in on making a choice, and they'll come to me and I get excited about it because, oh, you're asking me, I get to help you out because I love problem solving that issue, right? So whenever someone comes to me when they are struggling with a color pattern for their landscape, I get really excited about it. Okay. So what could you say you can get like really excited about when somebody brings you a problem or um, an opportunity may come your way, whatever it is. Do you get excited when people come to you with a new opportunity, a new idea? What is it that gets you excited that you get to help other people do the work? What could that be? Another question to ask yourself is people are surprised, maybe even in disbelief, when they see how I can blank. This is like that kind of hidden jewel that people like, I didn't know, right? So they're like, really? You do that? Because they're so like maybe off kilter from what they assume that you are, but based on what your persona is or what you project. And that when you tell them that you're really good at something, like, really, you do that? Like, because no one will really know that I'm great at gardening. I'm a phenomenal gardener. So when people kind of like befuddled that in like disbelief that they can see how you can do something, right? So they're in disbelief that I can make cactuses bloom. They're like, you can do that? Or I do topiary with those little, or like the bonsai, right? So again, disbelief, like they're totally surprised that I can do that. What could that be? Another question to ask yourself. So what does that fill in that blank? Lots of people shake their head in disbelief when they see how I can blank. What could that be? Another thing to ask yourself is when you are, so like I say, I do bonsai. So maybe another one is I remember when I took a class or I attended a workshop or a webinar and kind of got this feeling like I could do something. I'm better I could do something like that. When you can imagine yourself doing the work of others, what is that space? What does that look like? So kind of think back if you're in the habit. So if you're not in the habits, this is a side note, you should always be in the habit of improving yourself, right? Self-improvement, self-development is critical. And if that's not a habit that you are formulating now, while you haven't started your business, this is the time to start. Entrepreneurship is always about continuous improvement and growth. And so the only way you're going to grow and be able to perform better and do better by yourself and your business is that you're always in learning something new. I'm always in webinars. I'm always reading books. I'm always pulling through magazines. I'm looking at articles. I'm reading other people's blogs. I'm listening to podcasts. So what are the things that you're doing, right? And you want to be in that frame of mind. So I just wanted to make that side note with respect to that. So in this case, when you can see yourself envisioning yourself doing something as good or better, because you know what you bring to the table, then you see somebody else doing in a similar field. What is that? Have you ever had that type of a recall before? And if so, what was it? Another thing to keep in mind is your what I call your level of joy. So here is when you wake up every day, if you had the chance that you could wake up every day and teach on something and extend yourself and your knowledge to other people, and you could be happy just doing that alone, what would that be? So there's a question to ask. If you could wake up every day and do or teach something, what would it be? Or create something, right? Because I'm going to, let's see here. Let me fix this question. There we go. So, if I could wake up every day and I could create or serve others doing blank, I would be so happy for the rest of my life. What is that? What would that be? And are you starting to feel and see the connection with each one of them? Each one of the prior questions? Are you starting to look at your answers and saying, wow, I'm saying kind of the same thing all the time, which is good. And if you're surprising yourself because, well, people come to me because they think I'm really good at X, but I really enjoy X, then that's a clarifying moment for you as well, because that means that there's a perceived notion about who you are and what you're able to do and what it is that you really enjoy doing. And maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity to blend the two together. It's not to say that what you can't do either or. But again, look at your information. It's simply a reflection, but it is something to really think about. So if I could wake up every day and teach people how to properly do landscape layouts with with plantings, with 5 simple plants. If I could teach people all day how to do the plantings properly and all the things that kind of go along with landscaping, I'd be happy all day long. I'm gonna be good with just doing that and be happy as a clam. That's what I like to do. Sticking with my theme. Okay. Now, here's something that goes back to your areas of expertise. So when you think about your biggest accomplishment so far is that I have done what? What's been one of your greatest accomplishments? Okay. And I want to say this in the context of I'm not talking about your kids and I'm not talking about your husband or your wife or your partner. Okay. I'm saying accomplishments, meaning that you've completed something or done, it could have been school or anything, not around centric to a person necessarily, but again, your biggest accomplishment personally. What has that been? Ask yourself that question. And then here's a simple one. For some of you, should be able to answer this one pretty quick. What did you go to school for? You spent time in a room somewhere doing something and you got a degree or got a certificate. So what did you spend time educating yourself on? Formally or informally? Okay. Answer that question. So I got a degree in horticulture. That makes sense because I like to plant, right? I'm going with my theme. Okay. Makes sense. And another one is within that. So there's educating yourself. And then there's experiences in the field. What do you have at least 5 years experiences doing collectively? Doesn't have to be consecutive years. Doesn't have to be formal job. You could say some of this could just been inside of volunteerism. You can count it all as far as experiences is, actually doing the scope of work, so producing a product or a service, whatever it is. What have you spent 5 years of work experience in? Write that down. So if I said my 5 years of work experience pretty much has been in working in a architectural firm and a residential architectural firm, and I specialize in doing the civil and landscape architecture, right? That's what I do. So what is your 5 years experience? What would that be? Tap it and write it down. My biggest accomplishment so far that I have, let me see. Did I do that one? Wait a minute. Sorry. I know it's kind of screwy. Okay. Okay, so here's the one that again kind of goes back to your buds, and they're going to ask you this question. My friends think or know me as the blank fanatic. Like, what would they say? Like, oh my gosh, she was like so into X. Like everywhere we go, she's always the first one to say, "Oh, let's stop by the garden store," or "Oh, I got to pick up the latest, Martha Stewart." So, like a fanatic, like what would your friends say? Like this girl is, or this guy is like over the moon or so into X, fly fishing, whatever it is, right? So, what is it? Composting, whatever it is. But you'll start to notice in these questions that should be a thread coming through. And that's allowing you to identify that that's where your superpower is. That's where people think you're good at it. You feel good about it. Your friends think you're crazy about it. When you bring all those items together, that's a superpower. That's allowing you to find that sweet spot and allowing you to find joy. And then how is it you able to take all that information and those skills and the information that you have, in addition to new information that you'll be able to formulate by way of continuing to educate yourself? And so when you answer these 10 questions, what do you find your superpower to be? So as I can kind of think about the theme that I was going for, and the fact that, well, I enjoy gardening. I'm really good at bonsai. I really help people and enjoy helping people when they want to do their landscape layouts. I take People don't think I'm really good at topiary, but I really am. They're like, "You can do topiary?" I'm like, "Yeah." Because it's not like during the day you're going to see me with my farmer overalls on or anything when I'm out in public. You're not going to see me with that. They'll think that that's not her thing, but that it is, right? So all of these things, if you're seeing a theme and you're seeing a trend, then you have a superpower, and that superpower is that sweet spot that is when you take all 10 of those identifiers and you pull them together. It's like, that's me. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want. Because when it comes to you, and so when you think about the business idea that you have, how is this aligning with the business idea that you have? Remember what I started with at the beginning. You go into business to solve a problem for other people by way of a product or a service. And you should be doing something that you're going to enjoy doing and do it for a long period of time. And it also needs to be profitable. And so, with that being said, is the business idea that you have something that you're going to enjoy doing, that you can bring your best self to the table, that you're able to offer to others, and others will see value in it, that they will want to know, like, and trust you enough to hand over their credit card to buy that product or to buy that service? And what is it? That's the basis of your business idea, and validating it. If you're struggling with any of these questions, don't feel bad. It just means that either one, take your time and answer the questions. I went them through quickly. I wanted you just to at least capture the question so that you can reflect on it at your own pace and come up with an answer. But that's what Wisdom Wednesdays is about. It's about reflecting and preparing and giving you a mindset of entrepreneurship and knowing and understanding why you're getting into the business that you're getting into, and that it has the purpose that you want, and it's going to be in alignment to that when you do leave your 9 to 5, and you make your transition from employee to entrepreneurship, you want to make that transition intentional, you want to make it purposeful, and you also want to be able to enjoy and get to the other side. And, get to the finish line on that launch day and feel confident and comfortable with what it is that you're pursuing. All of that is as part of that journey that you're pursuing. So I hope you found that to be helpful. So this is Wisdom Wednesday. This is Dr. Yam. I hope you found this in each and every one of the 10 questions. Please share your information in the thread below. If you found out what your superpower is, why don't you share it with the group? We'd all love to hear more. And then we'll be able to cheer you on when you finish the Make It Official Biz, your starter kit. You come through the masterclass and you are ready to do your launch day activity. So all those things are waiting for you inside of the Busy 9to5ers Hive. So please, if you haven't already done so, join us over at busy9to5ershive.com. It's a Facebook group for aspiring business owners who are working full time, want to take their business idea so that they can go from employee to entrepreneur. And again, find me over at keepitsimplecoach.info is where you'll find me as well. So this is another Wisdom Wednesday. I hope you found this in each and every session to be a helpful one. And as I end with each time, let's get busy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.